their Bonner classmates, their friends, their family, their site partners, and other important humans in their life. It has been a joy and a privilege to see these incredible folks find their way at Stetson and into Lynn. They're a special class, and I'm really grateful to know them. They've been through a lot to get to this point, given that many of them joined the program in fall of 2021, so each of them is resilient and special. I'm honored to celebrate their growth, stories, and legacies tonight, and I'm really sad to see them go, but so excited for the next steps. As we celebrate our seniors, I want to remind y'all that Bonner often talks about the importance of reflection and listening to understand. In doing so, we may meaning, learn, and grow. So tonight I hope that you listen to our seniors, reflect on their beautiful journeys, and learn a thing or two about how much they have grown during their time in Bonner and at Stetson. To each of the seniors, thank you for your courage and sharing your stories and reflections with us. You're probably feeling a lot of big feelings as you think about leaving Stetson and the semester coming to a close. It's scary and exciting to think about what's next, and it's also daunting to think about leaving your Bonner family. If you haven't been listening to anything else I've said, please hear me when I say this. You will always be a Bonner. There will always be space for you in this room, and you will always be loved by the people in this room, especially me. What comes next is hard, but you can do hard things, and I encourage you to also take time to celebrate all of the hard work that you've done to make it to this point. I'm so proud of each of you, and I'm inspired by you each and every single day. Y'all have changed my life and the lives of people in this community, and I know you'll be back this fall to celebrate with us for Bonner's 20th anniversary. To the folks supporting our seniors, thank you for coming to our beloved Bonner-cation this evening. Supporting our seniors takes a loving community, and I know that each of you had a role in helping support, mentor, advise, encourage, and uplift the seniors on their journeys up until this point. To the other Bonners in attendance, please pay close attention to the wisdom shared tonight. These students are role models and some of the best that Stetson has to offer the world. You'll also be in their shoes sooner than you realize, and you'll be building off of the great work that each of our seniors has done in this community. I want to give this space to the seniors by saying that many of you have heard us say that Bonner is for people who want to change the world. Change requires courage, hope, and effort, especially lately. Change is not possible without community and leaning on one another for support. It is my sincere hope that the seniors continue to lean on their community for support, and that our current students continue to reach out to them for support. There is such value in community, and our power and our joy comes from those connections. So please keep in touch and spend time with people who share your values. Once again, I really appreciate you all being in community tonight. This is one of the most magical nights of the Bonner year, and I'm grateful that we get to be together one last time as a Bonner community for this semester. And so I'd like to invite Naya back up to introduce our first speaker of the night. Thank you.
And now we're going to welcome our first speaker, Gala. You're welcome to come to the stage, please.
Looking good, brother. You guys ready? Good day, everyone. As I stand here reflecting on the past 4 years, one word comes to my mind: grateful. Grateful for the growth, the challenges, the late nights, the unexpected plot twists, and most of all, the discoveries I've made along the way. For those who don't know me, my name is Talo Adebayo. I come from Nigeria where hard work isn't enough, it was survival. I grew up watching my mom create something out of nothing, whether it was studying by candlelight, during power outages, or finding creative ways to get access to things I needed. I learned early on that nothing in life is handed to you, you have to earn it. So when I came to the US, I remember my very first night here. Zen picked me up from the Orlando airport after a day plus flight. And from that moment I come campus, I was welcomed by my corner class. They became my very first friends, my first community. Simon, Nonzo, Charlie, Felipe, Rodrigo. Some of them are here with us today. But those early days at Conrad, at Epson, they'll always stay with me. Bonner gave me a place to belong. And more of that, he surrounded me with people who were, as I like to say, success obsessed. Let me tell you about my Bonner experience though. My first site was the Good Samaritan Clinic. That was where I started my first big project, building a website for the clinic. I was a computer science major diving into real world impact. And it was like finding the corner sweet spot where your skills, your passion, your service line up perfectly. The project shaped me. He added the line to my resume, sure, but more importantly, he confirmed what I love doing, building things that matter. That early experience turned out to be a game changer for me. He helped me secure an internship with Uber done my sophomore year, and now as I graduate, I'll be going back to the same company in California. When I say Bonner gave me the head start, I mean it. It really gave me the real experience, the real confidence, and the path to something I love doing. After Good Samaritan Clinic, I moved to Blackman Schools of Central Florida, where my role shifted to like graphic design for events. It was different, not the same sweet spot as Good Samaritan, but still meaningful. I realized something important there. Not every step of the journey will feel perfect, but every step does count. Even the ones that feel uncertain will still teach you, stretch you, and prepare you. And of course, I've got to shout out the people who made my certain experience unforgettable. Lou, thank you. My boys, Vincent, Victor, Philip, and the whole African community, thank you guys. You guys were the real family when I needed it the most. And so here I am standing in front of you on the edge of what's next, carrying everything Bonner and Stetson taught me, the lessons, the laughters, the late night coding, the deep talks, and all the details, all of it. To everyone who's been part of this journey, thank you. It's been real. Let's keep building, let's keep pushing, let's keep making it count. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Gala, for your wonderful speech. Now, let's welcome Taylor to the stage.
My dad is watching. He said, I don't know. He just tried. Do you think that it's, he said it's not clear, so it's the way he was moving.
Go Taylor!
Hello.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor. Let me start by saying there's nothing that I could say that completely encompasses the impact being part of the Bond program and being at Stetson in general has had on me, but I will try my best. I'll start with my junior cohort. These were the first people I met when I came to Stetson, my first friends, my first classmates, my roommates, and my first support system. Each one of you is more inspiring than you'll ever know. The opportunity to get to know y'all has been a blessing, and if I could spend just one more year with y'all, I would. From working together for SM and sophomore exchange to introducing some of y'all to Chick-fil-A, I'm happy to look back on so many fond memories. Naya and Philip have been wonderful class-based leaders, and I thank y'all for all of the hard work you have done over the years. I'm so happy to have been part of objectively the best Bond program. I do want to thank JP for guidance on college coursework, collaboration with professors, and a research perspective on community building during our SM sophomore world. Also, thank you to Taylor and Kevin. Who have always been the best directors with open doors, open minds, and open hearts. I want to talk more about my position at the Good Samaritan Clinic. I worked as a receptionist, triage nurse, and did other temporary odd corner jobs. I learned so much
over the past 3 years, I feel lucky to have found a home here, and I've had such wonderful experiences and new perspectives that define my values and solidify the direction I want to go in life. Embark has taught me valuable ways to serve my community no matter where I am, and helped me grow into the woman I am today. I plan on moving on to graduate school next spring to earn my associate's in radiologic technology and continue working in healthcare. In between, I am backpacking and participating in work exchanges in places such as Europe, Australia, and Southeast Asia to work within communities and experience new culture. As we come to a close in the semester, I have thought back on these few years, and one word that comes to mind is balance. As some of you know, I was also part of the cross-country team and majored in health science. This made for a lot of long, busy hours and a lot of sacrifices that nobody saw. Oftentimes, I found myself unbalanced, burnt out, and no longer towing the line between optimal and overworked. Every time I fell down, I managed to get up one more time and again found balance in my life. So, if I leave everyone off with a few pieces of advice, it's to find a balance in your life, stay grateful, and stay kind.
Thank you, Taylor, for your amazing speech. And now let's welcome Simon to the stage.
I'm very nervous. Yes, yeah. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So when I stepped off the plane in August 2021, clutching my suitcase and the dreams my mom sewed into my heart from Ghana, I didn't know that Stetson would be my second home. But let me take you back a little further to March 15, 2021, 4 days before my honor interview. I sat nervously in a Zoom room with Sabrina, a bonus student who would become my guidance star. She didn't just prep me for interviews, she reminded me that my story, my Ghanaian story, was my strength. 4 days later, on March 19, I sat across from Kevin and Taylor, my voice trembling as it is now, but my spirit steady, and I told them about a boy who grew watching his community in Accra turn scarcity into solidarity. I didn't know it then, but Bonner would become my compass, a bridge between my past and my future. At Stetson, I learned about Bonner's sweet spot, that magical intersection where your career, your academic, and your community, and the community needs collide. For a long time, I thought I hadn't found mine. How could my love for innovation, the design needs of Black hospitals of Central Florida, relate to my career goals of software engineering in computer science? But here's what I've learned. The sweet spot isn't always a perfect alignment. Sometimes it's a messy, beautiful overlap. Working with Black homeschoolers taught me that impact isn't just about skill, it's about heart. I'd arrive at the site and see flyers I designed taped to walls, and families using the resources we poured our souls into. It wasn't just about work, it was a calling. My mom once told me, when you aspire to inspire, the universe will conspire to meet you. And she was right. Those nights in winter meetings transformed me. I stopped chasing the sports that fit, and I started embracing a life that mattered. Bonner showed me that service isn't just a checkbox, it's a language. A language I first learned in Ghana, where my village showed me that success is a chorus, not just a solo. That's why in Bonner, I never showed up alone. Whether it was a class-based meeting, spring retreats, or all calls, I carried the voice of those who lifted me here. And that's the spirit Sabrina saw in me during our mock interviews, the fire of someone who knows what it means to rise with your community, not just for yourself. Luckily, just a few weeks ago, I found that sweet spot. I worked on building a website for the Ballet for the World initiative. And for the first time, coding didn't just feel like work, it felt effortless. Here, my passion for technology, my desire to uplift communities, and my skills collided into something meaningful. This is what happens when purpose finds you. So to my family and my friends in Ghana, may I say, you taught me to find abundance in the cracks. And to Stetson and Bonner, thank you for teaching me that my roots aren't a barrier, they are my blueprint. And to my Bonner family, the boys, Saeed, Mo, Steven, Lisa, Tella, Monto, Levy, Vincent, Victor, AR, Eric, Tayo, Philip. The list is, it goes on and on. You've been my brothers and my sisters, to us too, in service and my chosen family. And as I stand here today, 4 years later, about to graduate, a Bonner scholar, a son of 2 continents, I want to leave this with you. You don't have to have it all figured out. The sweet spot isn't a destination, it's a direction. And if you're still searching, remember that passion can be the path. So to the class of 2025 and to all those present here, as we step into the unknown, let's trust the journey, because things will dissolve, they'll release, and they'll settle in places you can't imagine. But I promise you that we will find our place in this vast and brilliant world. May that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Now, let's welcome Maggie to the stage. Oh, it's a lot harder than we ceremony. I was the one that said I wasn't gonna cry, and I feel the tear ducts. This has truly been a highlight of my life. With this program's celebrations that happened, tears were shed, as of right now, anxiety overcome, and lifetime bonds created. Thinking back, I remember joining Pro Bonner, not even really knowing what it was. Even the first day I drove around Stetson thinking the Hillel house was Taylor's house. That's how confused I was. I learned very quickly there is a B in her name, not 2 L's. Thank you for this Bonner program, for being my answer to what do I like most about Stetson. And thank you for also being my answer to what I'm going to miss the most. I remember going into Taylor's office thinking, I'm supposed to graduate, but I really don't want to. And Taylor said, why? There's a big old world out there. Why aren't you ready? And I said, I feel like I'm leaving my family behind. I said I felt like the train was leaving the station and I wasn't quite ready. And Taylor quickly said, lucky for you, this train station comes right back home anytime you want. I remember asking Santa my entire life for a sibling. Always thought I was a bad kid. I never got one. But I think the universe had a different plan in mind. The universe knew I'd come here and get a bunch of siblings. And I mean a bunch. There's like, what, 80 of us? I would like to thank my personally and my cohort. The first day, I missed orientation. I walked in first day of class wearing the brightest pink shorts I could find, right, trying to make my entrance. Immediately, everyone said, we love you, come on in. And especially thank you to Ariel for teaching me what it means to have a pookie. I had no idea what that meant, but I do now. I'd like to thank the people that came with me tonight. Thank you for my mom for giving me the boost and being my cheerleader in order for me to be everybody else's cheerleader. Thank you to my best friend Bella. Every time I drive home, she picked up the phone for my 30-minute commute, and I would tell so many stories about Bonner, and almost watching movies with him constantly thinking, I want to be a superhero, that's so cool. And he said, baby, you are, every single time. I remember going to Chisholm, coming back home and saying, I put your kid on a swing, and she thought it was great. He thought I gave her a free trip to Disney. Ugh. I'd like to thank Taylor and Kevin for, even though it was just 3 short years ago, you saying yes, I believe you belong in this family, has truly changed my life. Now when people ask me, on to the funny part, I swear, I promise. The entire time I've been here at Stetson, I talk fondly about Bonner 24/7. And people always ask me, what is Bonner? And I never felt like I had a good answer. How in the world do I describe a life-changing program? How do I explain that in a world full of uncertainty, I always have an optimistic outlook because I know there are Bonners in this world that are going to fix things. And boy, there's a lot of problems. So when I was asked to write a speech reflecting on my time here, I thought, that's not a thing, that's impossible. I immediately thought back to an early age that I fell in love with stories. I fell in love with picking up a book, an actual book, not on an iPad, there's a difference. And I thought, Bonner needs a story. Just something on a page that if we don't have a good answer, something that you can read to people. And so, I like to read a quick little story. It's called An Honor to be a Bonner. It's just clipboard, I can't draw. I'm not missing much. First things first. What is a Bonner, you might say? Well, you will soon find out if you choose to stay. I'm here to tell a story about a group of people that is 100% true. No elves or magicians. In fact, they look just like me and you. They have no superpowers, but they'll try to help you any hour. Their mission is to volunteer at a site called their sweet spot. It relates to a passion or issue they want to solve on the dot. Can you tell that I'm rhyming? People like the nicest man in all of Ghana and a Jamaican boy who looks fried bananas. There's another girl who's always on the run, but when you spend time with her, whoo, she's a lot of fun. The Bonner program even has its own personal Elle Woods. She's already changing the world, and her fashion is really good. There's a group of wonderfully smart people from a place with the vibe of Aladdin. If I never met them, I would be quite saddened. These are the friends from Egypt who know all the answers when you need them. Talking about math class, you know who you are. You'll meet people from different countries you never knew before, except you should know how serious they take their FIFA football score. Some Bonners will greet you with a happy bom dia, and after one talk, they'll share how much they can't wait till the next time they see you. Some of you now might not get a chance to meet Kevin, so for now we'll tell you about stories, and that's truly a win. We're going to pretend Kevin and Win rhyme. I couldn't think of another word. He's up in Virginia being a great dad. We miss him a lot, but you have to admit, that's pretty rad. Now there's one more special person who's like a fairy godmother. She teaches you how to be friends to one another. She's even married to a guy named Ben, who we all agree is the best example of a 10. Your name just happened to rhyme with 10. Then one day when you feel like you're leaving everyone behind, good news, there's a group you can join called Bonner Alumni. Now that you know about some Bonners, they're people that want to make the world a better place. Every day they handle the world with such grace. To friends both old and new, it truly has been an honor to be a Bonner. Thank you. And now let's welcome Jackie to the stage.
glucose, and blood pressure tests for individuals in the community who do not have health insurance. After their screenings, we would have the amazing opportunity to provide them with personalized education based on their results. One day, at a health assessment event, we had swarms of people asking for screenings. The environment was hectic, and I was attempting to take special care in connecting with each client in an attempt to establish trust, but also reduce their stress level. A man sat down in front of me. I took a deep breath to collect myself. As I was overwhelmed with the chaos as well, I looked him in the eye and said, "Hi, how are you?" He looked back at me and responded by breaking down in tears. He then managed to mumble out, "Since being homeless, no one has ever asked me that." I was completely caught off guard, and for the rest of his appointment, I sat and I listened to his thoughts, his feelings, and struggles, victories. I truly believe that this component of the screening was more beneficial to him than any numbers I could have told him. Very quickly, I knew Hispanic Health Initiatives was going to be my home base for the next 4 years. When I was arriving at campus, I was very lost as to where I would be. My entire life, I lived with my father, who was my #1 cheerleader. But before I graduated high school, my father suddenly passed. I was completely unsure where I would go next. It broke my heart that he would ever watch me get accepted to any of the schools we worked hard to get me into, or watch me get my first degree. During high school graduation, my childhood home was going to be gone. I was moving away from the only city I had ever lived in. Instead, State University was going to be my home. I was eager to discover what I wanted to do with my life, though, throughout undergrad. Like many, I was conflicted on what major I wanted to declare. I knew I loved nutrition, I wanted to study health, but I was also interested in business and videography. My head was everywhere, so I landed on a degree in health science with a minor in business. Since in my eyes, knowing business was an amazing skill to have, and hospitals, they're ultimately businesses. Hispanic Health Initiatives in Bonner have fostered everything I've ever considered. I like business. I pursued a summer of service and revenue management. I like videography. Peter, HHI CEO, recommended we apply for a videography grant in which we were awarded $60,000 for HIV stigma prevention. I wanted to help people prevent chronic diseases. He said, go out in the community, talk to them, screen them, learn from them. As most students, I learned an astronomical amount from my classes. Research I participated in, jobs I've worked, and the 1,120 hours we've all volunteered with at Bonner over the last 4 years. As most students, I've learned and asked, wait, I already said that. However, one of my largest impressions that made on me was by this man who was sitting in a chair telling me how his day was going. It altered something in me. From then on, every interaction I have in the healthcare field, I make sure to ask them how they're doing and truly mean it. To listen and to genuinely care, and to make my interaction with people as positive as they can be, because you never know what's going to stick with them. I learned that my passion lies in preventative healthcare and working on adjusting societal standards in order to stop these preventable lifestyle diseases before they can even occur in the first place. Classes that irked me the most and lit a passion in me were the ones that analyzed how our society's structure and decisions are impacting our mental and physical health. Obviously, my journey these last years has had a big impact on me, being transformative, and it wouldn't have been possible without the amazing people here that supported me. To Taylor and Ben, thank you so much for standing by our side and being the most graceful leaders we've ever had. To Peter, thank you for taking time to listen to every crazy idea I've ever had, and for providing unwavering support for all of us. To my mom, thank you for always being a landing stone for me to rely on. To my sister Menda, thank you for guiding me throughout my journey. And to my dad, thank you for providing me with so much support in a short period of time that I'll be inspired for a lifetime. To my senior class and all my fellow peers, I'm so glad it was you guys that I got to not just lead down this journey, but go with the journey with. And thank you for always brightening up my days. As you continue on throughout your days to come, I welcome you to connect with people. As my dad once told all of us, you are a very important person. You will never realize how much your impact matters throughout the world, and how your soul is going to touch others. The man from the bustling screen probably thought that I was just passively listening to him, probably assumed I would never think about this interaction again. But he never knew how much he had impacted me. And you never know how much you can impact others by something as simple as a hi. How are you? Thank you.
isn't just the work I did, it's how deeply it has changed me as a person. Working with the Black Home Schools of Central Florida throughout my 4 years here as Stetson, it has opened my eyes in ways I could never expect. These weren't just volunteering experiences. There were moments of connection, moments where I saw firsthand quiet battles that so many minority communities face every day. Through these experiences, I didn't just learn about service. I learned about compassion. I learned about standing shoulder to shoulder with people, not just above them or below them. I learned about true service means listening first, really listening and letting those thoughts guide your actions. Growth is never a straight line. It's humbling, it's messy, it's constant. Through my years in this program, I learned, and I'm still learning, to be more patient, to be more accepting, and to be more selfless. One of the most defining experiences for me happened in my freshman year in a class where we studied the criminal justice system. I walked in thinking, I would just learn just the facts, pass the exam, and that'll be it. But instead, I walked out realizing that awareness is in action. Even when the system feels too big to change all at once, conversations, stories, and truth-telling start the whole process. Change starts with awareness, and awareness starts with us. I carried this lesson from my freshman year and up until my senior year. My academic interests never wavered, but my definition of success has evolved over time. I used to think success was about achieving certain milestones, graduating, landing a good job, checking all those boxes we all have in our head. But now I see it differently. Every step I take in building my career is not just for me, it's a step towards creating opportunities for the causes and communities that shape me into the person I am today. True success to me is gaining the freedom to serve more powerfully. I may not have found my final destination yet, but I know I'm on the right road, guided by a deeper purpose than when I had started. If I could go back to my freshman year me, one thing I would say is this, stay humble, don't get trapped in what people say about you, whether it's praise or criticism, none of that defines you. Purpose is what defines you, your effort is what defines you. Your character in who you are and what you believe in defines you. If you're going to do something, do it with all your heart and give it all your best. There's no way I can talk about my journey without thanking some people who made this possible. So first of all, I'd like to thank Taylor, who's always been there as a light, even when the road was foggy, for her encouragement that lifted me on the days I needed it the most. Kevin, although he's not here, I want to thank him for being the voice of tough love. My dad wasn't here with me all 4 years. I hardly spoke to him. But Kevin was like that dad here, reminding me to stay grounded and never forget where I came from. You both have shaped me and I appreciate that more than you know. To my fellow runners, I want to thank you for being a part of this journey. Just from our little conversations, I've learned a lot from all of you. We all come from different places, but we're bound together by a mission bigger than ourselves. To serve, to stand with each other, and to create change in our own small or meaningful way. Your passion and your dedication have inspired not just me, but those we all see here. So the class of 2025, we're standing at the beginning of something big. We all have stories to tell, and we all have places to be. I wish you all the strength, the clarity, and the courage to follow your path wherever they may lead. And if you don't remember anything from my speech, I want you to remember this. When you're journeying through life, find what excites you, spend time with it, fight for it, pour more into it, and the more you pour into it, the more it's pour back into you. And the more you'll be able to give back to the communities and people that have shaped you. My name is Chukwunoso Pascal Okeke, and this is my bonus story. Thank you.
Thank you, Mons, for your amazing speech, and now let's welcome Rodrigo to the stage.
You hear me well? That's good. Here, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm so nervous. I'm not even kidding. Like it's crazy. It's a really important moment for me because it's one of the only places. It's like it's okay. Rodrigo, go and say something. Say something to everybody that wants to hear. So it's really hard to actually prepare a speech like that. But I did not even have any here. But I want to say thank you to some people. First of all, she's not here, but my mom. First of all, my mom, it's Sonia. Thank you so much for everything. In 2 weeks, we're going to be crossing that stage for graduation finally. And she's going to be here. She's not here right now, but she's going to be here. So I'm really, really happy that she's going to be here. So, yeah. My mom who shaped me, my mom who helped me in the hard moments, my mom who said, Rodrigo, that's not the right thing to do. Rodrigo, do your best. So she was there all the time. My grandma, who is not here anymore, last time that we talked, I was in Brazil, and it was like the last goodbye. She was crying because she didn't want me to come, but she was crying. That was the last time that I saw her. She was crying because she was going to miss me. So we come here. We know how like hard it is. International students. We know like we have one chance. We have. Don't cry at us. I'm not gonna look at you. We know how hard we work for this, and we have one chance. My father, my grandma, my mother, and that was the first one, actually, God. That's the first one that I want to thank you. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for waking up every day, for inspiration, because everything I do, all the energy that comes through me is from Him. I don't do anything like any of this stuff that I do, any of the videos. For example, commencement, we have that video makes me get goosebumps all the time. That's not from me. That's from Him. Okay. When Taylor asked us to do this speech, I was like, let's not do something about camera. I don't want to talk about camera, but it's kind of impossible to talk about service for myself if I'm not talking about camera. That's really hard for me. But before I talk about camera, I need to talk about people, because going against what everybody thinks, I don't work with cameras. I work with people. I work with emotions. I work with connection. I work with highlighting the best in people and the energy that comes out of them. The camera is just a tool, and for some, I don't know why, a tool that for some reason I fell in love with. But people comes first, and they always will. Because without them, what we're doing, the work that we're doing. We're here to serve, and as boners, that's intrinsic to our DNA. And this right here, this was the beginning. Bonner was the beginning of everything. Everything. Even coming here. Because without Bonner, I would not be here. But I remember my first week in US. That was right after COVID, and we were in quarantine. And I was dealing with Simon Toku. And that guy right there gave me such a hard time, brother. Man, like, I was coming from Brazil, and Simon was from Ghana. And he was speaking like an English that I never saw in my life. I didn't know it was possible to speak that English, you know. It was such a thick accent. So, but thank you so much, because my listening speed improved so fast. And during the same time, during quarantine, another guy. This time he was from Nigeria. He came to talk to me, and his English was even more complicated to understand. But we were brothers, you know, so. One day, and I don't remember why, this man that I'd never seen in my life, that sounds okay. Me and him were dancing shirtless in Conrad Hall for no reason, you know. And I think that we just bored, but good times. But I also remember Simon Doku and I, during the first week, looking around campus from our dorm. And from that first week, we were talking, man, imagine if we could do videos. You remember that? Imagine if we could do videos highlighting the community at Stetson. It's such a beautiful campus. We don't see anything on YouTube. We don't see anything nowhere. Right after that, I didn't produce videos for Stetson immediately, but I remember my first ever video produced here, and that was for the Bond program. It was for the Good Samaritan Clinic. And that video was basically the birth of my filmmaking career at Stetson. For those who watch behind the big camera, you know Corey Lancaster, the Assistant Vice President of Marketing for Stetson, said, I found Rodrigo through that Good Samaritan Clinic video. That's how I started working for Stetson Marketing. That video wasn't just used and still being used by the Good Samaritan Clinic, but it also opened doors to my future. And for those who haven't seen it behind the big camera, let me show you this real quick. This past Easter, I was at the staff's member house here at Stetson, and her mom was visiting. It was an old lady. They were from Puerto Rico. We were talking about struggles of coming to the U.S., and the whole family was just watching behind the big camera. Oh my God. After the film, her mom looked at me and with some tears in her eyes and said, Rodrigo, you know what I love about this film? It's the fact that while you're telling your story, you're also telling our story. The story of Latinos, the people from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Brazil, from Ecuador, from Egypt, all of us. People who try to come to this country to make a living and succeed. She said, thank you for sharing your story. So if you haven't seen it, go watch. Okay, so let's talk about myself for a second. Let's talk about Maria. So, okay, Maria, so it's 5 a.m., okay? And Maria is already awake. She moves quietly, carefully to not wake her kids, Daniel and Sophia, and they sleep on a teeny mattress. She packs their lunch, half a sandwich each, a juice box, and an apple to split between both of them later on. Their rent is overdue. Daniel's cough won't stop. She doesn't know what tomorrow will bring. But what Maria should know is there are places in this community that will fight for her. Places that see her struggles and say, we're here to help. That story is real. And through the Bowman program, I have had the privilege of working with people and organizations who refuse to struggles like Maria and go unseen. Each one of these organizations are here to serve, uplift, and create opportunity. And when I first came as a owner, I asked myself, how can I use what I love, what I do best, to contribute with their mission? My tool was a stethoscope, like Jackie's. Where's Jackie? It was a stethoscope. It was a clipboard, like Maddie's. My tool was a camera. When I first arrived to the US, I was searching not just for opportunity, but for a purpose. I knew I wanted to create, to tell stories, to make an impact, but it was through the Bowman program that I realized my craft could be my service. At the Good Samaritan Clinic, I feel moments that remind people that healthcare isn't a privilege, but a right. At the Neighborhood Center, I captured stories that showed me their urgent need for food security. At the Chisholm Center, I helped amplify the voices of those fighting for change in our community. The camera became basically a bridge between struggles and solutions, between those who serve and those in need. To be honest, I work with almost every single community partner using storytelling not just to document change, but to drive it, ensuring that every effort, every voice, and every mission would be seen, heard, and remembered. The Boldness program teaches that true impact happens where passion, talent, and community need intersect. Looking back, I see how that motto shaped me, not just as a videographer, but as a person. I didn't just film, I listened, I learned, I grew. My camera was never about visuals, it was about understanding people's realities and giving them a platform. Every frame I shot, every edit I made was driven by the desire to serve. As I grew in my craft, I became more aware of the responsibility that comes with storytelling. Okay. There were moments of doubt, late nights spent in editing, wondering if the work was enough, the struggles with equipment, trying to make things work with what I had, investing every penny I could into my craft. Not just to improve my skills, but because I believe storytelling had the power to create real change. Bonner taught me that service isn't always easy. Isn't about comfort. It's about showing up again and again because the work is bigger than us. And one thing, it's not about how much you have, it's what you do with what you have. I learned that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Reflecting over the past few weeks, I realized the best things that ever happened in my life came when I took those risks. For example, you staying back home in Brazil, starting to come to the US, when everybody else was just staying in Brazil to stay over there. Leaving the business school and choosing digital arts instead, not because promise more money, but because that's what my heart was telling me to do. Buying my first camera that I saved for almost 2 years to buy it. After that, I had no money. It was broke. And making behind a big camera, and why I would put my face in front of the camera if behind the camera was working so well, right? But Nelson Mandela once said, there is no passion to be found playing small. In setting for a life, there is less than the one you're capable of living. And I don't want to get stuck with what I have now. I won't fall back on anything. If I'm going to fall, I want to fall forward. At least that way, I know where I'm going to hit. I won't be standing here without the support of this program. Without Kevin, without Taylor, and without any of you. Without mentors who guided me, and the fellow owners who showed me the power of collective action. To the Bonner family, thank you for challenging me, thank you for inspiring me, thank you for providing that service. That service isn't just volunteering, it's a way of life. As I step forward, I carry with me the lessons Bonner has taught me. That our passion becomes most powerful when used to save others. That impact isn't just measured in numbers, but in the lives we touch. And that every story, no matter how small, deserves to be told. Now you remember Maria? So this morning she watched one of my videos and made for a community department. And now she's getting help to take care of Daniel and Sophia. I'll keep creating, keep telling stories, and keep serving. Because my craft is my service, and service, in the end, is what makes us truly human. Do what you love, and serve with what you do. Thank you.
speech, and now I wanna welcome Bella, but before I wanna welcome her, I wanna say that I wish you did great in your MCAT, and I'm so glad you made it on time, and welcome to stage.
Hi guys, sorry I'm late. I just took an 8-hour exam. um, but so okay. So when I reflect on what brought me to this moment, standing here before you guys as a honor senior, filled with gratitude and hope, I'm reminded that my journey began long before I stepped onto this campus. It began at home with my parents, who made it their mission to show me the power of service. From a young age, they instilled in me the understanding that we're not meant to move through this life alone. We're called to walk alongside each other, to lift each other up, to listen, and to love. My mom, one of my greatest role models, became a legal aid attorney because she recognized the need in her community. She saw people hurting, people struggling, and she knew that God had equipped her with the skills and compassion to stand in that gap. Hearing her share stories of the cases she took on to defend those in need showed me that true service is about using your gift to meet others where they are, to lead from your heart, not just your mind. Watching her navigate each case, not just with her mind, but with her heart, taught me that true service is about adapting when challenges arise, and never losing sight of the human being in front of you. Her selflessness has been my guiding line for the past 22 years. That light is what carried me into this program. While I had been active in community service throughout high school, honor offered me something deeper. It gave me the opportunity to immerse myself, to not just serve, but to grow alongside the people I was serving. Over the past 3 years, I had the privilege of working with the Boys and Girls Club and with River Sea, two sites that shaped me in very profound ways. At the Boys and Girls Club, I saw the beauty of curiosity through the eyes of children. Their laughter, their endless questions, their eagerness to learn reminded me that we, as older individuals, carry a responsibility to nurture their minds and inspire their dreams. There was one little boy, Dante, who particularly captured my heart. With eyes full of wonder and a spirit so pure, Dante greeted each day with curiosity and joy. Each week he would proudly hand me a new drawing, often depicting the two of us together, and one of those drawings still hangs on my fridge at home. Dante reminded me that service is often found in the smallest moments, the time you simply show up, listen, and care. It's in those seemingly ordinary exchanges the most extraordinary bond is found. It was in the spirit of nurturing curiosity that one of my favorite projects, Science Mondays, took shape. Pearl, a fellow honor alumna, spearheaded this initiative, and I had the privilege of helping alongside her. Together we created a space where children could explore and discover the magic of science through playful, hands-on experiments. One activity in particular stands out in my memory. We used sharp pencils to puncture plastic bags filled with water, teaching the children how polymers form steel. We told them it was like a big hug holding everything together, and when you come tight enough, nothing spills out. Their eyes lit up in wonder as they wanted to try themselves, each child eager to prove that they too could make the impossible happen. Later that year, Pearl organized a science fair where the children proudly presented their favorite experiments to friends and family, and also fellow honors. Seeing their pride and joy was a reminder that small moments can plant seeds of confidence and curiosity that can last a lifetime. My time at River Sea Loop opened my eyes to the strength found in community beyond age and background. I met retirees who dedicated their life and time to preserving nature, reminding me that service is not bound by a stage of life, but it's a lifelong commitment. It taught me the value of communication, collaboration, and the power of showing up for each other. But beyond the work, honor gave me something even more precious. It gave me a family. Taylor in particular has shown me the kind of leadership that's rooted in empathy and grace. Last semester I faced one of the hardest seasons of my life, marked by personal loss and grief. I stepped back from my bond responsibilities and ensured I'd still be welcomed when I returned. But when I finally reached out, I braced for disappointment, for rejection,
But instead, Taylor met me with open arms, and she simply said, "Don't worry, friend, that must have been such a tough semester. I'm so sorry you went through that, but I'm so glad you're here with us now." And that sounds 100% like Taylor, but that was almost verbatim. That moment will stay with me forever, because it reminded me of something we often forget in the busyness of life. We're all just trying our best. We're all carrying burdens that others cannot see. And in those moments when we feel like we've fallen short, what we need most is not judgment, but compassion. Bonner has shown me time and time again that true leadership is built on connection, kindness, and understanding. So to Taylor, to Pearl, to Dante, and to my fellow Bonners, and to everyone who's been a part of this journey, thank you. Thank you for creating a space where I could grow, not just as a student or a volunteer, but as a person. Thank you for reminding me that the heart of service is love. And to my parents, thank you for being the foundation upon which I stand. Your faith, your sacrifice, your unwavering belief in the power of being good shapes every step I take. As I leave here tonight, I carry with me not just the lessons I've learned, but the hope that I can continue to work beyond these walls. My journey will take me to medical school, where I hope to become a physician guided by the same values I found here: compassion, connection, and service. I aspire to be God's hands and feet, offering healing not only through medicine, but through kindness and grace. That I can be the kind of person who meets others with compassion, who speaks out the overlooked, who builds a life not just for myself, but alongside my community. Because at the end of the day, what truly matters is the impact we have on one another. And for that, I'm forever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Gala, for your great speech. And now let's welcome Chris to the stage. You can clap again. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It's been a long semester, but an even longer 3 years for me here at Stetson. So, though I'm excited to start saying my goodbyes and enjoy my last 2 weeks seeing all of your arguably beautiful faces, I'd like to reflect on how Stetson and the Bonner program have allowed me to grow not only as a scholar and a leader, but as a person, more ambitious and excited for the future ahead of me. As old as we are, with our creaking knees and our stiff backs, I'm sure most of us in the room remember what it was like for us at Bonner orientation coming to Stetson. Coming to campus earlier than the general body of students, there was a lot of anxiety, but even more excitement as we explored the campus and began learning a little bit of what the next few years of our lives would look like. We went from quietly walking into a room full of strangers to spending a concerning number of hours sitting in front of a TV or around the living room together in that little orange building just down the street. I had a lot of concerns choosing to come to a small private school in a city I'd never heard of, where I'd known no one from my childhood or early adolescence, since UCF and FSU are typically the funneling hotspots for most Florida high schoolers. After singing a very out-of-pitch karaoke to Sophia the First, and watching Taylor and Kevin battle to the death with lightsabers during my first fall retreat, however, I knew I had made the right choice, and I'm continuously proven correct with each passing minute I spend with some of the people in this room. From day one, the Bonner program has helped me grow into a more assertive and confident leader. Some of you may have thought that this would be impossible, since my self-assuredness and, sure, maybe my ego, exceeds common levels. But the self-enrolled XM course taught me not only how to procrastinate the nightmare that was peruse all assignments, but how to be an efficient community organizer and identify various approaches to strengthening the communities I care about.
I implement the lessons we learned in that course in every leadership role I hold on campus and when engaging with other communities I still care for back home in Naples. As a class, we got to use our lessons on actively rebelling against policies or decisions we deemed unjust or damaging to the communities we serve pretty early on, by forming a united front to speak with Casey and lobbying for a lighter course load, which we succeeded in achieving. Coming back from winter break after our FSEM had ended, we all ventured together to the Hope Community Center in Apopka. Some of our host experiences may not have been as glamorous as we had hoped, but personally, me and Laurentia were having the time of our lives, playing darts, telling stories, and gorging on amazing home-cooked Venezuelan meals. But I think I can speak for all of us when I say that our class bonded in a whole new way out in that garden, digging up roots, maintaining garden beds, and pretending not to be shoveling dirt onto each other's shoes. Every single one of us in this room cares to make our communities and the world around us a better place. And the real-world experiences and lessons we learned on that trip is something I will continue to remember as a highlight of my Bonner experience. Coming back to the present, there's a clear change in who we were as budding community organizers to the inspiring leaders we are today. I'm absolutely amazed by some of the junior capstone projects I've seen come to life. Maddie, even if your heart is no longer set on being in the classroom, it is so clear to everyone that you have such a passion for engaging and developing young minds. I can't even begin to process the geniusness that comes from Philip, Anas, Victor, and Laurentia, and the other tech whizzes that do their magic helping their communities with code and programming from behind the scenes. The concept of front-end and back-end coding has been loosely explained to me over a free for me at Chili's, and it still makes my brain hurt. I've had such an amazing experience working on my junior capstone project, helping to develop structure and increase capacity in an organization that has become a haven and a source of happiness for me. The community education project proved to me that it was possible to truly find a sweet spot. I've always known I wanted to be a lawyer, but working directly with already incarcerated or formerly incarcerated individuals had shown me a new side of the criminal justice field, and I found a new passion for higher education, prison programs, and initiatives. I've had a lot of wonderful opportunities and experiences through working with the CEP. I've aided in the final production of a reentry guide for formerly incarcerated individuals, the only of its kind in the state of Florida, implemented and organized annual community brunch events, worked with nationally recognized organizations such as activist Desmond Mead's Florida Rights Restoration Coalition, and attended several HEP conferences to better improve our program for the benefit of our incarcerated students. Though the last conference was definitely equal work and play, but I spent half the trip climbing trees in parks and drinking my way down Bourbon Street at the French Quarter Music Festival. I hope to voluntarily continue in that field of work as HEP is a newer field and see where it takes me alongside my career as an advocate and defender in the court of law. It's been such an honor getting to know each and every single one of you. When I reflect on my undergraduate years, I hope you know it won't really be Stetson that I get nostalgic about. I won't reminisce about the stuff they call food in the cup, or about the moth caterpillars that terrorized the campus last year, falling from trees and landing in extremely inconvenient places. I won't reminisce about hiking the trek to reach the LBC, or about the tragedy that was our football team. It will be all of you. It will be playing manhunt outside of Conrad, where some creative individuals hid under cars and jumped bushes. Victor, you are so unbelievably fast. Like, wow. It will be running into Taylor, pun intended, introducing her to my hometown friends after her impossible run from a spontaneous craving for breakfast. It will be learning the Cotton Eye Joe dance in the rain when we should be walking to class. We will be laying on our backs on the carpeted floors after coming back from Stig New, some of us more veteran in that experience than others. It will be my excitement as a local Floridian, being with all of you for your first hurricane, and the absolute chaos that was our hurricane party. It will be knocking on your doors when I was bored, just to sit on your carpets and be bored with company. It will be Brazilian nights at Celine and fitting Justin Bieber's baby on the party bus. It will be the warm hugs from Philip, everyone's favorite person, and the random videos of Dochi, who I have nothing in common with. It will be 2 a.m. Wawa runs and cooking dinner in my apartment for those of you who have become like siblings to me. It will be Taylor's care and passion as a leader and brilliant radiance as a person. My senior quote in high school was, I hope you smile when you think of me. Thinking back on it now, that was a ridiculous thing for me to say. Of course you will. Some of you think I'm insane. Some of you consider me a loyal friend or a little sister. And some of you are just itching to be able to say, don't make me call my lawyer. Don't worry, I'll get there. Whatever the case may be, I've spent the last 3 years making enough room in my heart and memories in my head to somehow gain an even greater zest for life and eagerness for my future. So thank you all. It will be all of you.
And it's meeting. Let's welcome our last senior speaker today, Lily.
Hi everybody. I just had to adjust this really quick, just like, all you see is ahead. Okay. So, throughout my time as a Bonner, I've learned so much about community engagement and where my sweet spot is. For those of you who don't know, the sweet spot is the intersection of our career goals, passions, and site work combined. I began my journey wanting to go into the field of psychology. Needless to say, that was not for me. I later found out through my community engagement courses my passion for education. While I began my site work at the Lacey Family Spring Hill Boys and Girls Club, I was met with the compassion of the beautiful Miss Althea. She is the ultimate game changer for the Spring Hill community, and an incredible person to know. Her drive for continuously improving the lives of the children we serve is immensely inspiring. I first realized my passion for education while tutoring at the Boys and Girls Club. It began when I started tutoring Little Justice, a kindergarten student. She absolutely melted my heart. We worked on having her write her name and learn the alphabet all semester. When she was able to grasp it, I was so incredibly proud of her. She is the student who made a huge impact on my realization for my love of teaching within the tutoring capacity. Another student who impacted me greatly was Cameron. He was having difficulty with his homework, and neither I nor the other tutors knew how to adequately help him. This broke my heart. He was so upset that he was struggling. And I know the struggle myself, as I have 2 learning disabilities. I helped reassure him that we knew he did his best. I also wrote a note to his teacher so he wouldn't get punished as a result for not having adequate help. I didn't hear back from his teacher. This is what inspired the creation of Teacher-Tutor Connections, my junior capstone project and senior research project. This is an online platform used to directly communicate with our students' teachers. This website also encompasses tutorials to teach tutors how to properly teach mathematical concepts in the same way it's being taught in schools. I've been so grateful to have had the opportunity to bring this vision to fruition with the help of Dr. Shankar Brown. Her support has been so incredibly appreciated. She has been one of the most influential professors as she truly sees me. Now I'll be furthering extending my thanks to all of my mentors within Bonner. First of all, I would like to thank Taylor, who is my first friend in Bonner, as well as my first mentor in college. You have always extended your kindness and help when I've needed you. It does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. You are literally one of the kindest people I have ever met. Thank you for being your wonderful self. Secondly, I would like to thank Kevin for always being a listening ear. He's always so encouraging and has such a lively presence. I know he's not here right now, but if he is on the live stream, shout out to Kevin. I don't know. But I did talk to him, so I saw him before this anyway. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Ben and Reverend Todd for helping guide us all for this very much anticipated speech today. You have both been incredibly influential and supportive for us all in completing our certificate of community engagement. It has been wonderful to have had the chance to work alongside you both. I also want to thank JP for being someone that I admire. Where's JP? Hey JP, for your continuous efforts for community change across many communities alike. I really appreciate you and all you have taught me. Lastly, I would like to thank my incredible family for helping me become the person I am today. This includes Megan, my babysitter, and one of my mom's students who graduated from her Bonner program when I was in first grade. Growing up, I wanted to be just like Megan. I'm so grateful for her. And she's on the live stream, so I love you. And without the continuous efforts and sacrifices my mom made for my education, I don't know if I would be a soon-to-be college graduate. Thank you, Mom, for your never-ending support. Bonner love. And also, I just want to shout out everybody because y'all have been so incredible. Y'all have been making me cry this whole time. I was worried I wouldn't be composed when I came up here. Everyone did so amazing, and I'm so proud of you all.
I want to thank all our seniors for the great speeches that they gave us. I'm so happy that I had the chance to meet you, and I wish you all the luck for your next steps. Now I'm gonna welcome the Neville to the stage.
I wasn't expecting to get introduced.
Yeah!
So 10 seconds of me speaking. I believe I know just about everybody here, but in the event you don't, I'm Ben Hibble. I'm a Stetson Bonner alumni, and I'm also the Interfaith Engagement Coordinator of our Office of Religious and Spiritual Life. More importantly, however, I'm Taylor's husband. It already is, whatever. It is. Anyway, I've had the privilege, as Lily was talking about just a minute ago, to work with our Bonner seniors this year alongside our incredible university chaplain, Reverend Todd Campbell. And after hearing everybody's speech so far, I'm sure you guys can all see why it has been a joy and an honor to get to know each and every one of you, to help you make meaning out of your time at Stetson. Now, we have a little basket of marbles. You might be asking, what the heck is that about? If you read your program, you might be able to see that's because it's time for one of my favorite traditions in the whole of the program experience, the marble exchange. I'm going to keep talking, but I want to quickly invite all of our graduating Bonners to come up in front of the stage.
Big T.
I also want to say, I was at the Faith Generation Conference earlier this semester, and heard Taylor and I talk about this already. No, you didn't. So, the marble exchange comes from a professor who advised the Bonner program for many years, and who Taylor and I had the honor and privilege of knowing while we were in the program, Dr. Greg Sapp in the Religious Studies Department. Dr. Sapp had a knack for getting students to think deeply about their assumptions, to challenge their beliefs, and more importantly, to get comfortable with sharing their ideas. Dr. Sapp believed that if something upset you to the point of action, then it was worth speaking up about. And if it was worth speaking up about, then you have a responsibility to engage with those who might see the world differently from you. He had a metaphor that stuck with us in our years since graduating, and Dr. Sapp often said that when you come to college, you bring with you a bag of marbles. Those marbles represent your beliefs, your values, your experiences, the things that make you, you. Now, it has been almost a decade that I have been coming to Bonner Senior Galas, and never once has anyone explained how the game of marbles works, which doesn't make for a very impactful metaphor, so I'm going to do that really quick. So, at the start of a game, after drawing a circle on the ground, players take marbles from their bag and put them inside a circle with the marbles from everyone else's bags. On your turn, you pick a marble from inside the ring that you like, whether it was originally yours or someone else's, and try to knock it out of the circle. If you do, you get to keep it to add to your collection after the game is over. So if you've ever heard the phrase playing for keeps, it comes from the game of marbles. I heard one O, that means it was worth the explanation. So I share all of that to explain the same wisdom that he wanted to impart. College isn't a time to hold on to your marbles and keep them hidden away in your bag. It's a time to take them out, to examine them, and to be willing to compare them to someone else's. It's about sharing your marbles with others, and in the process, deciding which ones you want to keep and which new ones you might want to add to your collection. But here's the key. This process isn't about losing your marbles. When you share your beliefs and values in meaningful conversations, you don't just understand yourself better. You develop empathy and a deeper understanding of the people around you who are brave enough to share their marbles with you. So, seniors, as you embark on your post-graduation journey, whether you're already really comfortable with sharing your ideas or if you're still nervous to speak up, we encourage you to be curious about the new marbles you find. Keep speaking up about what matters to you. Ask questions. Listen with curiosity, not to respond, but to truly understand. Most importantly, don't be afraid to share your marbles, because the more we share, the stronger we all become. This is where our little basket comes in. So Taylor's going to come down the line, and I invite each of you to look at the marbles available and take one to pick for your own collection. So it's our hope that when you all look at this marble, wherever you are in the world, that you remember Dr. Sapp's lesson, your time at Stetson, and how unbelievably proud you have made your Bonner family. Thank you, seniors. I'm going to invite Taylor back up to the stage to recognize our lead team and to toast our graduates. Thank you for your time.
And if anybody wants to take pictures, this is a good time to get a picture of all of our graduates. each of you for being in community with us. We are nearing the end of our program, but I want to remind folks that on your way out, you may grab as many snacks as you'd like. We still have some drinks in the back. And if you haven't gotten a chance to go ahead and write some Bonner Fuzzies, our little notes of joy and gratitude to our seniors, this is one of your last chances to do that. You should also sign their little headshots. But I want to take just a moment. In your program, you'll notice that we have a page spotlighting our Bonner Lead Team for this year and for next year. Bonner is a student-run program, and that is my favorite thing about Bonner. Y'all have the best and brightest ideas, and I'm just here to put the guardrails and to make sure that y'all, have all of the support that you need to make everything that you want to have happen. And so if you are on Lead Team this year, or if you will be on Lead Team next year, I would love to invite you to stand up so that your colleagues and I can give you a round of applause, because we are so grateful for you all. Thank you to Lead Team. I'm looking forward to celebrating with our Lead Team tomorrow. And then I just want to close this out by saying, again, thank you so much for coming and being in community with us. I hope that you will stay and take pictures with friends. If you'd like to share words of love with our seniors, they'll be sticking around so that you can say hi to them and share some Bonner love. And then if you've heard anything about Bonner through these Bonner speeches, you know that Bonner is all about showing up and doing the work. And for that, this evening, I'd love if you also were willing to put your chair away. So the closet's right over there.